Hey guys, Fuzzy here, and in today's video we will be making the T-Rex Blox Fruit from, I believe, Roblox is the game. Now, I've actually never played this game before in Roblox, but I was seeing these around YouTube. I saw some of them, and I did think they were kind of cool and kind of cute too. So of course, I thought, why not make a fuzzy version of it? So yeah, I did some little researches, and it seems like it appears differently in certain images, but I'm just going to be basing it off of this one image that I found, the main image for the Blox Fruit. And of course, I do have the perfect color for this. I've been waiting to use this for something because I just have a lot of this color. I was going to use this for Sonic, but it was kind of more on the green side when Sonic was more like a dark blue. But yeah, I was waiting to use this, and I do have a ton of this stuff. So, and then I also have this cool cream color that I don't use very often either, but it's like an off-white color. It is not completely white, as you can see. But yeah, let's get started. So first, for the structuring, I just made these two squares here, and I rounded the edges since the cube seems more rounded, and then I did start to attach all the corners together, but I did make it more of a rectangle rather than a cube height so that I can add this extra bit on top and onto the bottom so that those edges can also be rounded. And I left the bottom open so that I can attach every detail from the inside, since he does have like a bunch of horns and scales and stuff, and he also has that mask that goes over his cube face. So I just wanted to make sure I can attach all of those securely from the inside. And then I just added more lines across the middle of the cube so I can properly fill everything in. And so I'm thinking this will probably be like a really good base since it's just a little cube. But yeah, I did make it a little bigger so I can put good detail onto the features. But yeah, I'm thinking it'll be really cute to have in your little hand. But yeah, I mean, it looks very nice so far. The structuring for the cube kind of looks like a cage that you put over something. But yeah, I did leave the bottom open to attach the details from the inside, which is what I do with most of my projects. But yeah, now onto the filling of the cube. Alright, so now we fill in the cube, and the pattern is going to go one way, and then I'm going to have to fill in the sides the other way. I don't know how to explain it, but you will see in the time lapse that I'm filling it in across, like all the way across to the other side, and then the two other sides that are still blank will just be like filled in like once, like one side, it won't go to the other side. But yeah, the little round edges are very satisfying to see being formed, and then of course the bottom is still open, and then yeah, it's just like a little cute plush cube that is going to form, and then the little mask is going to go on top. Yeah, I really do like the design of Blox Fruits. It's very simple and with a little bit of detail, and it's a very nice shape. I like the little block shape. You know, I kind of want to make more Minecraft blocks. I feel like that'd be fun to do, since you know you can like stack them and they can just be displayed so nicely. Alrighty, so it was a bit tedious to fill all of this in, but it is very satisfying because it formed a soft little cube kind of shape because all the edges are rounded. And the bottom is open so that I can attach everything from the inside. But so yeah, I mean, the design is kind of going like slanted for some reason. But anyways, now I have to make all the scales and then also the little mask thing. So yeah, it should be pretty fun. I think I'm just going to make a little structuring for the mask, and then I'm going to place it on the cube after I fill it in, and then attach it from the inside. Same thing with the scales as well, but probably the mask first and then the scales. And also maybe I'm thinking the eyes can be on the cube and then the mask has holes for it, so it's not built into the mask. It is like there's going to be some depth to it since the eyes are going to be on the cube, and then the mask is just going to have holes for the eyes and the nose. So doing the outline for the mask, it was a little difficult because I had to like put the outline on the block, and I had to be really careful because like the outline would distort sometimes, and it would be really hard to like get it in the right place again. So I really had to not like move it out of place or something or accidentally dent the outline. But then after I kind of secured everything into place, so after that it was easy because all of the structuring was down and everything was secured in place. And also the eyes, I don't know why they look pretty big already when I was making the structuring for the mask. mask. But then all of a sudden when I filled it in, they kind of were small, or smaller than I thought they would be. But I think I'm just gonna leave it there because it would take a really long time to redo all of this. But the nose holes did turn out to be better. You can actually see them, so that's I'm pretty happy about that. I thought you were maybe not gonna be able to do that. I had to like trim all of the fuzz around the eyes and the nose holes in order for them to look maybe a little larger. And then I also trimmed around the edges to make everything more prominent and structured. So then after filling, I can just, you know, put it on the block and it can just be there. So yeah, I mean, it was pretty satisfying to fill in the little mask. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. But I'm not sure I should have put this little gap in the top of the mask. I'm not sure if that was actually necessary, but you know, I'm just gonna go with it anyway. Honestly, probably the most difficult part of this was the mask. Forming the eye holes and also the whole structure overall was difficult because, of course, like I said earlier, when I was forming the outline, it was really hard to kind of model it on the block and then take it off. When doing those kind of things, you have to be like really delicate with it so that you don't kind of mess up the form that you already made. But yeah, those are always really hard when making like flimsy kind of outlines at first before adding on all the extra lines that you need to make sure the structuring stays in place. But yeah, that's always the hard part. So here's the mask filled in, and it just kind of sits on top of the little block. And then I also left a gap on top to have room for the horns or the spikes or whatever, and also the stem. And then I left the eyes and the nose holes open so that underneath I can fill it in right here, burgundy, and then he will have his eyes underneath. And now all I have to do left is make the rest of the spikes and the horns. And of course, making the horns was super tedious, but I did like to see the horns like take formation with the little points. And then I also had to bend some of them, which is pretty hard. They kind of go in like a weird angle. It's not like a straight horn. They're all like curved and they go in different like directions and stuff. The stem wasn't that hard to make though. It was more easier because it's probably a little bigger and a little more structured than the horns were. Because the way I make the horns, it is a little difficult when filling it in because certain spaces get too much like pipe cleaner packed into one space, and then I have to like start filling in a different direction. I don't know if that makes sense, but you'll probably see it in the time lapse that I kind of jumped around when filling in the horns. Like sometimes I would fill in the top and then I would fill in the bottom and then I'd fill in the middle. So to avoid like kind of the pipe cleaner bunching up in one place and kind of looking super bulky and stuff, makes everything a lot difficult. But yeah, the horns turned out very nice anyway, and I did have to make like a ton of them, but I think it adds like a lot of like cool little details to the little block fruit thingy. So yeah, and it's also very satisfying to connect all of the little scales and horns together because all I have to do is kind of insert it into the mask and to the block, and it just fits there very nicely. Even without attaching it from the inside, they kind of just fit like a little puzzle piece. Alright, so here is the Blox Fruit with all of its little horns and scales and stuff. I still have to fill in the eyeballs and the nose, but yeah, these aren't actually attached fully. You can just kind of pull one out if you want, like that. See? Yeah, all I'm gonna do is just take this off. I mean, pull it off, I guess. There we go. Yeah, I'm just gonna pull it off, and then I'm kind of gonna put I'm just gonna fill it in where like the area of the eyeballs are, whatever, if that made sense. It's gonna be burgundy since it's like a darkish red, and then I'm gonna put the little red dots for his little eyeballs. So yeah, the eyes are pretty easy. I just put a layer of burgundy over one side. For the eyeballs, I just got a lighter red pipe cleaner and kind of rolled it up a little bit, and then put a little stem at the end, a little tab, I guess guess you can call it. And then I poked it through the burgundy on that side, and then I just folded it from the inside of the cube so it can stay in place better. But then the real difficult part was actually filling in the bottom. I started to notice that it was forming a taller cube than I expected, so I kind of had to smush it down a little bit so that it wouldn't be like super tall to where you can't even tell it's a cube. So I did push it down a little bit to make it more cube shaped. I think it did work really well for the front of it, but I think the other sides you can kind of tell that it's longer, but the front it looks pretty good. So I mean that's all that matters anyway. But yeah, I mean I didn't have any other difficulties other than that. And when I got closer to filling in the entire thing, like the end part, I couldn't stick my fingers through any of the pieces, so it was really hard to kind of weave the pipe cleaner through. But yeah, other than that, it went pretty well, and it stands up very nicely. Definitely need to find a way to improve how I do that. Maybe I could have made a plate like separately from that. Maybe I could have made a separate plate and then attached it. That probably would have been maybe a little easier. So I'll try that next time if I make any more blocky kind of things. Maybe like a Minecraft block, maybe, hopefully. Or another Blox Fruit also. But yeah, that was the last step in finishing my Blox Fruit. So here is the Blox Fruit completed, and I decided not to put the little stripes in the back because I didn't really have a blue that matched it, and all my other blues didn't really look good on the back of it. So I just decided not to include those, and then also the bottom was really hard to fill in. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good overall though. I mean, it's not like you're gonna go like this all the time and see that. It does stand up well. I mean, you can't see it, but it is a very nice little block shape. I didn't use any measurements for this. I kind of eyeballed it, so it kind of does look a little tall, not really cube shape. I think in the front though, you can barely even tell that it is taller. It is more cube shaped from the front, probably because of the skull mask thing, probably because it pops out in the sides and the top. But here are the little back scales, and then here's a little stem, and then the eyes look actually pretty good. And also the nose holes, you can see that it's a little burgundy in there. I do think this is actually pretty cool. I mean, it's a little skull cube thing. Yeah, I think this would be really cool if maybe I made like Minecraft blocks this size. I don't know, let me know what you think. But so yeah, I mean, what do you guys think of my my T-Rex Blox Fruit? Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video. See you guys later.